You're about to listen to the Dr. Daliah Show. Sassy, stimulating medical talk radio. Any medical advice Dr. Daliah Wax gives on her show should not be substituted for an actual visit to your medical provider. And now, here's Dr. Daliah.
We are back on the Dr. Daliah Show. Thank you all for tuning in. 1-877-DOC-DALI, 1-877-DOC-DALI. Well, not earth-shattering news, but another study has come out looking at our screen time. And one of the big health headlines today is screen time in bed linked to worse sleep. Again, this isn't really groundbreaking. I'm sure a lot of you guys are like, well, no, duh. Yeah, but yeah, it's a health headline, so let's just cover it. Okay, so I feel like I'm doing my job. But there are some things I want to add to this. So this was research based on a Norwegian survey of more than 45,000 students. And they looked at those who would look at the screen in bed. So we're not talking so much about your overall daytime Candy Crush playing like I do. It's when you're in bed, you're going on your telephone or your screen. And they say for each additional hour of screen time, it was linked to a 63% increase in insomnia risk and 24 minutes less sleep. Now, according to BBC News, the researchers said they had only established a correlation between screen use and lower sleep quality and had not demonstrated that the former caused the latter. But they suggest that if you do put your phone away, do something else relaxing. Now, this is something that I've noticed, and please don't do as I say, all right, or as I do. Don't do as I do. But I notice when I have trouble sleeping and I'm up and I'm lying there, I either get up and do some work or I go to my phone and I play a game. And it actually helps me fall back asleep. So what's going on there? So I will always be of the mindset to tell you avoid the cell phone, avoid the smartphone when you're in bed, because obviously you're getting a text or there's something that reminds you of work or you see something funny. Like I cannot look at funny memes and funny videos before I go to bed. If I start to giggle and laugh, I can't sleep. I'm revved up. And so my husband's like, oh, this is funny. Check this out. I go, don't show it to me. I cannot laugh before I go to sleep. That's just me. But if it's something monotonous and soothing, like for me, Candy Crush helps me sleep. It shouldn't. It's bright. It's fluorescent. I think it probably can give you a migraine because of the lights are so bright. But it's the chocolate part of it that I guess makes me relaxed. And I'm able to turn it off. So the reason why all these studies about screens and computer use and TV are linked to insomnia is because, one, it's triggering the brain. It's the light. It's the colors. It's the excitatory responses of your synapses when these things are very charging when you look at them. But it's also, it starts to make your mind think of things. And for you to be tired and have a good night's sleep, you have to refocus your brain. Some of us can't do it. We're always going to, I'm thinking about my next show. I'm thinking about my mom. I'm thinking about family members that are having health issues. I'm thinking about, just the news, everything. I'm just always thinking, always worrying. But when you're able to turn it off, and I'm like, I'm not going to think about that. I'm just going to imagine being in Rivendell with Aragorn and decide to spend the rest of my life with him. I get calm. My mind starts to go into a nice deep slumber. I might have to fight off a couple orcs every now and then. But for the most part, I could come up with a happy place that will hopefully tune everything else out. And that's the key to being able to fall asleep, to be able to calm your mind, slow the brain waves. And it's not easy. I still struggle with sleep because sometimes I don't want to think about, Lord of the Rings. Sometimes I want to think about Jimmy Garoppolo, but where is Jimmy Garoppolo? What's going on? Oh my gosh, what's happening with football? And then all of a sudden my mind starts to wander. So, yeah, screen time, screens affect people's sleep. Why is this important? Why is this another headline? Well, one is we have a huge epidemic and pandemic, I should say, of people needing sleep aids and using sleep medication. We have people addicted to their phones and they can't shut their phones off. They can't put their phones down. We are bombarding our retinas with the light from these phones that are keeping us awake. People are addicted to sleeping medications. And these over-the-counter sleep aids that are antihistamines have been linked to dementia risk for long-term use. So we need to figure something out. And as we're going more and more towards computers and more towards our smartphones, and people say, Daliah, just get your movie ticket on your phone. Check your stocks on your phone. Boarding passes. I still like to print the boarding pass. And I love trees. I want to protect trees and paper. But it just, if my phone doesn't load, now the app is working great, but I had trouble with the app. So I like running around with a paper boarding pass. But everybody's saying, what are you doing? Go to your app. Go to your app. I don't want to use my app for everything. I don't want to always go to my phone. I'm still blown away by the idea that you need your smartphone for your Tesla. I mean, that blows my mind. Randy actually wrote when I was talking about Teslas and how my friend lost his phone. And then when he hiked, he didn't realize he lost his phone until he hiked back to his Tesla and couldn't get in. Randy said, you wondered about using a Tesla if your smartphone battery is dead. He says, I wonder about a woman trying to escape an attack in a car that senses objects in its path and activates the brakes, rendering the car trap that favors a stalker or domestic abuser. So Randy brings up a good point. We're really relying on tech, and we're thinking tech is making things better, but when you're in an emergency, it doesn't. So for those of you who struggle to sleep, put the phones down. No tablets, none of that for 2-3 hours before you go to bed. 1-877-DOC-DALIAH. Dr. Daliah here. Are you tired, burned out, gaining weight, succumbing to the daily pressures of life? Well, how's your dopamine doing? How you feel right now, how you'll feel an hour from now, and how you'll feel next week is completely reliant on your dopamine. Our daily motivation and willingness to push through challenges depends on the intricate chemical process dopamine provides. Christian Kalikas and I created Deploying Dopamine, a book that tells you what dopamine is, when it dysfunctions, and how to successfully deploy it when needed. Find Deploying Dopamine on Amazon today. Check it out.
At Hotshot Secret, we share the science behind common diesel problems and their solutions. For example,
Hotshot Secret Stiction Eliminator.
stiction, that sticky friction, undermines the performance of diesel engines. Third-party ASTM testing verifies that Stiction Eliminator removes 2 times as much stiction than any alternative on the retail shelf. Stiction Eliminator is formulated to be left in the engine oil. It works as you drive.
Available at truck stops, Tractor Supply, O'Reilly's Auto Parts, and online at HotShotSecret.com. Hotshot Secret. Powered by science.
In a study, it was found that 33% of 44 herbal supplements had no trace of the advertised herb. Don't let that happen to you. Hi, this is Dr. Mitch. If you want to ensure quality, please go to TotalWellness.com. Supplements made for physicians only now available to you too. TotalWellness.com, helping you to look good, feel good, and enjoy total wellness.
Carl Amari here to tell you about our newest website for old-time radio lovers. It's 100radioshows.com. At this site, there are 5 old-time radio shows waiting for you to download free as our gift to you, and be sure to browse the additional 700 old-time radio shows available to you for 70% off by using the promo code RADIO at checkout. This is a limited-time offer, so log on to 100radioshows.com. That's 100radioshows.com.
right, we are back on the Dr. Daliah Show. Thank you all for tuning in. 1-877-Dr. 1-877-DOCDALI. Big thanks to Talk Media Network for making the show happen. Big thanks to Daniel, our producer, and big thanks to you all for tuning in. We really do appreciate it. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at Dr. Daliah, Facebook, The Dr. Daliah Show, and on YouTube. Click like and subscribe. Okay, so some of you were fortunate enough, although I don't know if fortunate's the right word, but you were able to get Ozempic or a GLP-1 agonist drug to lose weight. And many of you have reached out saying, I'm stuck. I got on the drug. I'm spending money on the drug, and you're not losing weight. You lost maybe 10 pounds. Maybe you lost 20 pounds, and now you're in what I call Ozempic limbo. If you are in Ozempic limbo, this is a very, very scary time, especially if you've invested tens of thousands of dollars for your monthly shots. If your insurance covered it and you only paid $25, okay, not as scary. But for those of you that have really invested a lot of money into it, into your weight loss, and now you don't know what to do, you're scared. And so this Ozempic limbo that some of you are on is causing you to be concerned. Do you keep going? Do you stop the drug? For those of you who missed a dose or who did stop it temporarily, you saw how quickly your hunger came back. Your hunger came back pretty fast. And so you are in limbo or you're at a plateau. So I've told you guys before, when you lose weight, the plateaus are actually very beneficial. These plateaus allow your body to reset itself. So let's say you get a stomach flu, you lose 5-10 pounds, not eating and vomiting and diarrhea. And then at the end of the week, you're like, wait a second, look at me. I'm 5-10 pounds lighter. If I could just keep this, the second you finish that sentence, you gain the weight right back. So rather than it taking a long time or even 5 days to gain that weight back, you almost take it in like a sponge, because for your body to reset itself and recalculate for that new weight loss, it's easier for your body to just rebound. But if you lose weight slowly and plateau, and your body starts to get used to that new weight, now that's going to be your new set point, as long as you're not overeating and doing things wrong. And so if you have been taking Ozempic or Wegovy or Mounjaro or Zepbound for weight loss, and you lost 10, 20 pounds, 30 pounds, and now you're not losing anymore, that's actually a good sign, because that means your body is trying to reset. The problem is nobody wants to spend $1,000 or $1,500 a month for same weight. The reason why most people fail on their diets is they plateau. This could be, whether it's Weight Watchers or exercising or working out, and you're like, I'm not losing any more weight. I must be doing something wrong. So you quit, and then you gain the weight back, and nobody tells you. You just ride through that plateau. The problem is the average person cannot afford these drugs. And for those of you in Ozempic limbo, you want to know how to get off of the drug and not gain the weight. So, the element of surprise always takes us. But if you're not surprised and you're educated and you're aware, it might not hit you that hard. So if you know that a common side effect of stopping the drug is you're going to get very hungry, plan for that. Have junk food out of the house. Have an exercise regimen. Have plenty of water around. And then start working on your cravings. Make sure you have something. Another thing that you might want to do is not stop the drug abruptly. If you're on 2 milligrams of Ozempic, then maybe go down the next few weeks to 1 milligram, then maybe go down to 0.5, then 0.25 before you go off of it. But if you lost your weight at the 2 milligrams and you stop it, you're going to probably rebound. So you might want to slowly taper it down. You also should be increasing your muscle mass. Your metabolism is not going to increase if you lose your muscle. So if you haven't been exercising this whole time, you better start exercising. And you better start increasing your muscle mass. And you better also get into shape because the weight will come. And you're going to realize that this Ozempic Mounjaro weight loss might be temporary for you. Not for everybody, but for you. So you might need plan B and come up with another way to lose the weight. And, don't feel bad. A lot of people feel they got suckered into this, that nobody warned them. I warned you, but not everybody listens. And mind you, listen, I would love, to lose a rapid amount of weight. I have a bikini from my honeymoon that I would love to get back into. I don't think my husband's going to want to see me in it, but I'd like to be in it. And so I get it. It's very addictive to want to succeed and start looking better. You know how difficult it is to lose weight and to be able to improve your health? I'm not faulting you for trying to improve your health and weight. I fault you for not revamping your whole lifestyle and including exercise and eating healthy. If you're eating out and drinking alcohol and using these drugs to try to curb some of your cravings, no, your weight loss is not going to be permanent. But if you've been working out at the gym and you've been cutting back your eating and you've been doing, what you do, then that's what these drugs work well for. Just like with diabetes, these medications were designed for people with diabetes so that those struggling to get their sugars down have another option. But can you be on it lifelong? There's a study looking at some of the risk factors like pancreatitis. And researchers from the Washington University School of Medicine looked at the health outcomes among more than 2 million people with diabetes taking these drugs. And they found that if you're on these medications, it doubled the chance of developing pancreatitis. Now, pancreatitis is inflammation of the pancreas. Inflammation of the pancreas could put you at risk for pancreatic cancer. We don't want to mess with the pancreas. In fact, there's a saying we always say in medical school that I can't say, but it rhymes with Donald Duck. You don't Donald Duck with the pancreas. And these medications can. I don't think these medications were ever designed for long term. So for those of you that were lucky enough with your new insurance to get on the medication, has anybody studied how long you could really safely be on it? We're seeing pancreatic cancer risk rise. Is it because of all the diet sodas? Is it because of the increase in obesity? Is it because of the increase in alcohol? Is it because of the increase of these drugs? Why is pancreatic cancer rising? We need to know. Now, I'm not saying you're going to get pancreatic cancer from these drugs, but if it is found to double your risk of pancreatitis is a risk factor for pancreatic cancer. Another problem we're seeing is people aren't pooping. They're telling me they can't poop. They have to self-extract or go through tons of stool softeners. Well, that's not sustainable. I don't care how much weight you're losing. You have to be able to potty. And if you can't if you can't pass your stools and you're constipated, that could put you at risk for colon cancer. So this Ozempic limbo is something that I think has to be talked about just as much as these celebrities talking about their weight loss. And being able to maintain weight loss is important. I know the Wegovy commercials, they go, I'm maintaining my weight loss. Good for them. But it's an expensive way to do it. And if you are putting yourself at risk for GI side effects, nausea, vomiting, pancreatitis, we want you to be able to maintain your weight without drugs. And I think we're starting to develop this idea that you have to be on this for life. And now you're scared. You're scared that you can't go off of it. And you keep paying and you keep paying, you keep injecting. And at some point, something gives, you go off of it and you gain the weight back. So my recommendation for all of you in limbo is, one, look at the dosing you're on and very slowly titrate down. Keep exercising, eat healthy, try to maintain that caloric intake, and try to temper the rebound. And you need to figure out what is the lowest dose that keeps you happy and does what needs to be done medically for you, that doesn't put you at risk for rebound when you stop the medication. And seeing patients come back saying, look, I just gained 30 pounds back, all those benefits of weight loss on the heart and the kidneys, we're hearing all these studies where if you take these medications, this rapid weight loss is doing wonders for your heart. Okay, where are the studies showing the rebound weight gain and what that's doing to your heart? Okay, the one thing I can assure you is a good number of people using the drugs are going off of them. We need to be there for the medical issues that happen with that. 1-877 Doc Daliah, don't go away.
At Hot Shot Secret, we share the science behind common diesel problems and their solutions. For example,
Diesel fuel cetane levels.
in many states, the cetane rating in diesel fuel is 42 to 45. Most diesel engines operate more efficiently with a cetane rating of 48 to 50. One treatment of Hot Shot Secret Diesel Extreme will raise your cetane 7 points, increase fuel economy, and improve cold starts. Due to a cleaner burn, there are less hydrocarbons and particulate matter in your exhaust. This reduces the blockage of your diesel particulate filter. Using Diesel Extreme generates 83% less DPF regeneration. The 6-in-1 Diesel Extreme formula also includes the most concentrated detergent on the market, lubricity enhancer, water demulsifier, rust and corrosion inhibitors, and a fuel stabilizer.
Hot Shot Secret Diesel Extreme is available nationwide at truck stops, fine farm and auto stores, and online at hotshotsecret.com. Hot Shot Secret, powered by science.
We are back on the Dr. Daliah Show. Thank you all for tuning in. 1-877 Dr. Daliah, 1-877 DOCDALI. So I get kind of visual on this show. Many of you are watching my videos on Facebook Live and Twitter and etc. So most of the videos I have are on Facebook Live. Most of my show is audio, though. So for those of you that want to watch something, you might want to tune into Facebook Live, because I am getting sick and tired of hearing how people do not want to eat healthy, do not want to eat salads or vegetables. They say, I cannot eat vegetables. This little baby bowl of a salad with greens and some purple lettuce and some croutons, although I really don't want to add any more carbs to my diet than I have, so I'm going to skip the croutons. But there's so many of you that go, cannot eat the salad. Nope, sorry. Not going to do this. And you look at this. There's no dressing on this. I do have some dressing on the side, which is really good. There's this place in town called Shucks. I don't really eat crab or anything, but they have like the best dressing. Thing is, it's very sugary. It's very caloric, so I don't eat too much of it. But I don't want to teach you how to eat a salad or vegetables that is drowning in butter or cheese. Or, yeah, I know, to get spinach in me, it has to be cream spinach. But, there's a way to do this and get these vegetables into your system. All right, so I'm going to show you guys this. Watch. So here is a piece of lettuce. This looks very unappetizing at all, right? Watch this. There it is. I'm eating it. It doesn't taste that bad, but there I go. Now here's a purple leaf. This has obviously some different nutrients because of the phytochemicals and the colorings. And if I put this in my mouth, there we go. We eat it. You see, all you have to do is not think about it. Take a piece of lettuce, shove it in your mouth, and there you go. You're going to be able to poop better. It's good for your teeth. A lot of times I smile. I got food in my teeth. At least people know I got my vegetable. You could take the croutons and throw them at your pets. Or I like to throw these things because these are like little weapons, these little croutons. I don't have to eat the croutons. I love onions. I just can't digest them. But I just ate about a forkful and a half of vegetables without dressing, without crying, without moaning, and I got it in me. Now, some of you are saying, well, okay, that's kind of common sense. If it is common sense, how come you guys aren't doing it? How come you're not getting the vegetables in you? How come you won't eat it? Well, because you were trained on only doing things that you want to do. Your parents, when you were growing up, said if you want dessert, you're going to have to finish your meal. Well, no, you don't always get dessert in life. If you want to live, you eat. I'm telling you right now, in caveman days, I sincerely doubt zebra was tasty, or the fish that they caught was really that succulent and delicious. But we, over time, evolved to only eat things that are peppered or have cumin or cinnamon or basil or oregano. Now, I am not saying don't season your foods. If you want to season your foods, that's fine. But when are we going to go back to the thinking that not everything has to taste super yummy? Look at how I'm trying to get everybody to drink more water. Water has no taste. Now, to me, it tastes good when I'm really thirsty after a workout. But water is not going to be sweet. It's not going to be chocolatey. It's not going to be bubbly. Although there was some interesting study on carbonated water we're going to be talking about in a little bit. But I want you, as we're, going into this new year, to do something that might not necessarily give you such dopaminergic rewards. That's healthy. Okay? Let's say you know your mother-in-law would like a call from you, and there is absolutely no dopamine that seems to come from that. Just do it. And I tell you, you will actually feel better. Whenever I eat a salad that I didn't dump in a sugary dressing, I feel good that I ate a healthy meal. This is my breakfast and lunch today, and it's plenty. It's big enough. I'm going to skip the onions because I don't digest onions anymore. I wish I did, and I don't have any Beano. Beano gives you enzymes, so when you don't digest food, you get very gassy and bloaty, and I got a flight tomorrow. I really don't want to be, having to evacuate a plane, so I'm going to be skipping the onions, but I got to tell you, God, onions, these are, if you want to season foods and you want to add flavor, you put onions in it. I mean, onions are fantastic. It is a healthy, very healthy way to season. Another thing I like are tomatoes. Oops, I dropped my tomato. Well, 3-second rule. These little tomato bits, that sweetens your salad. Also, you could add cranberries. Some people like to add cheese. I want to kind of limit, the dairy for me. But yeah, cheese can make your salad better. Some people add egg. And, if you are doing dressing, interestingly, so, I got a nice, this is like more than a dollop. This is like a whole bunch of dressing. And now it just spilled all over the place. So when I did Weight Watchers years ago, they taught me, it's funny, I gained a lot of weight in puberty. And when my parents were trying to lose weight, I went to, so I was a kid, I was like 13. I went to Weight Watchers with them. And then I skinnied out and I was slim until menopause. But I wasn't like super slim. I was Dr. Daliah thin. So that's size 7 to 9 with double Ds. But still thin, I stayed thin. Even after the pregnancies, I lost the baby weight. It wasn't until menopause and perimenopause that all of a sudden everything packed on. But I was talking about, now I forgot what I was talking about. That's another thing, dementia. Talking about weight gain. Oh, yeah. So Weight Watchers taught us that rather than dump, and we're talking, this is the 1980s, rather than dumping a whole bunch of dressing onto your salad, take a fork. And it wasn't Weight Watchers. It was somebody in the Weight Watchers room. One of the people that just weighed in said they dip their fork into the dressing. And there's a little bit on each strand of the fork, whatever you call those poker thingies of the fork. And then they dip it in their salad and they get that little taste and it works. You could use honey. There's a lot of things you could do. But I don't even want you to sit here and try to manipulate your vegetables. Just take whatever you need to eat and stick it in your mouth. It's that simple. And, I don't want to insult anybody. I get it. Life is too short. If you could enjoy, some chocolate mousse and some succulent, well-seasoned, slow-roasted prime rib, I don't blame you. But people are not eating what they need to that's healthy because they're like, well, it doesn't taste good. I need to make it taste better. You're not going to make it taste better. To me, this tastes like crap. But I don't tell myself that. I tell myself that the more bitter, assuming you're not eating something that has fungus on it or is rotten. But if I taste bitter or I taste vegetable, I tell myself, ooh, that's good. I'm really getting in my vitamins. Speaking of vitamins, look at this market of gummy vitamins. How many of you have had more acid reflux and burping because of the gelatin? When did vitamins have to get sugary? And I understand the Flintstones vitamins I had as kids were tasty. But no, your vitamins are not supposed to be sugary. 1-877 Daliah, don't go away. Hi guys, Dr. Daliah here. Addictions can sneak up on us and come in many forms, whether it's drugs, alcohol, sex, video games, porn, or something less obvious such as food, internet, or shopping. Addiction can seem innocent at first and then evolve into an insurmountable evil. In our book, Addiction Basics, Caitlin Kalikas and I dive into the common addictions and provide tips for identifying and preventing these before they sneak in and take over our lives. Addiction Basics can be found on Amazon or my website, drdaliah.com. Check it out.
At Hot Shot Secret, we share the science behind common diesel problems. For example,
Diesel fuel cetane levels.
the cetane rating in diesel fuel is 42 to 45. Most diesel engines operate more efficiently with a cetane rating of 48 to 50. One treatment of Hot Shot Secret Diesel Extreme will raise your cetane 7 points, increase fuel economy, and improve cold starts.
Hot Shot Secret Diesel Extreme is available nationwide at truck stops, fine farm and auto stores, and online at hotshotsecret.com. Hot Shot Secret, powered by science.
At Hot Shot Secret, we share the science behind common diesel problems. For example,
Product claims without proof.
every trucker on the road has heard product claims about an additive that simply didn't match their experience. Proof is found from third-party testing by a recognized, credible source. That's proof. Hot Shot Secret Stiction Eliminator will improve your performance and fuel economy. For proof, we engaged the Ohio State University Center of Automotive Research to conduct an EPA-certified fuel economy test with Stiction Eliminator on a FedEx truck, a 2006 P500 Freightliner with 247,000 miles. The test showed a 3.6% increase in highway driving fuel economy from Stiction Eliminator, an oil additive. The complete report from OSU is available for download at hotshotsecret.com. That's proof.
Hot Shot Secret Stiction Eliminator, available at truck stops, Tractor Supply, O'Reilly's Auto Parts, and online at hotshotsecret.com. Hot Shot Secret, powered by science.
We are back on the Dr. Daliah Show. Thank you all for tuning in. 1-877 Dr. Daliah, 1-877 DOCDALI. So I'm getting from a lot of baby boomers, Gen X's, and older millennials that they're a little nervous about their kids and how to advise them. Now, with college and schools being very, very different, in terms of a degree that may not matter, even if it's a great degree that might not get you anywhere. And you know, when some of the Gen Zs or younger millennials say, I don't need to get a college degree. Now later, the Generation Alphas, as we're going into now the first year of Generation Betas, there's this disconnect because what I grew up with as a Gen X and what I thought life was going to be like and what I needed to do, boy, have things changed. I mean, when I grew up, you become a pilot or a doctor or a lawyer or a teacher or a homemaker and it was one thing. And you strive for that one thing, and you could take classes that help you make it to that one thing. And then you do an SAT, you get into college. And then once you get that degree, you're set. That's not what younger millennials and Gen Zs have, or Gen Xs. And so you're going to get a lot of pushback from your younger family members saying, no, that's not how things work. So if they feel you're obsolete or giving them the wrong information, they're not going to go to you for information. One of the first things I told my kids when I started to notice a little bit of pushback, when I wanted to give some advice, and they will, because they think they know what I'm going to say. And I've made sure to always have some unpredictability, just so they're like, oh, okay, that's really good. But one of the first things I do when I open with is I explaining to them and engaging them by saying, yeah, your path is much different. What you guys, your challenge is way different from our generation. So what I learned and I was told doesn't really apply. They're like, yeah. Now they're going to listen. Remember I taught you guys about the 3 E's? Engage, educate, and enlist. Okay, I came up with that. Yes, thank you. Yeah, right. Engage. Nobody's going to listen unless you engage them. Yeah, like this also works for marketing. There's a sale. There's a president's sale coming up. Big red letters. You got to engage them. You have to capture them. Then once you've captured them, you can educate them. We're selling cars for sale on President's Day weekend, or we're doing this. And then you want to enlist them. So come in on Monday. Or tune back into the Dr. Daliah show tomorrow. So these 3 E's are successful for any sort of communication process. And so if I think my kids are like, oh, mom's going to tell me to go to college, or mom's going to tell me to do STEM, which is, science and technology and engineering and math and things like that. Mom's going to just tell me to do, I've lost them. And a lot of you have lost your kids. And you think that they won't listen to you, and now you feel like you can't help them for success. And so let me give you guys some advice, okay? And I know it's not easy. College and having a college degree, I still think is valuable. And my advice to my kids about that was, look, even if your degree might not weigh enough, it's still more in your wallet than a no degree. But if you're not going to get a college degree, then you better get certification. You better get a skill. You better get a license in something. But you are going to need things to build your career off of. And you're going to have accolades and certifications or a trade or something. And luckily, my kids listened to that. And I know a lot of their friends dropped out of school and they're like, oh, I'm going to become an entrepreneur. I'm going to do, well, that's fine. The second thing is do you have a dream? Do you have a goal? And what's the best way to get to that? Now, I was really nervous because my kids were growing up, hearing about Mark Zuckerberg, who left Harvard, left college, and then became, did what he did, or, Napster, or all these other, sort of people who decided to do opposite what the Gen X's and baby boomers did. And then these millennials became multi-billionaires. And I was really worried that that's what kind of started. I look at these influencers. I could just do something on YouTube. I don't have to go to school. I'll make more money on YouTube, or I'll make more money on Instagram. And there's a lot of people out there that are. And kudos to their success. But how do you compete when you never had Instagram? And so you do have a lot of advice and a lot of great education to give. But you got to get them to listen to it. And if they think you don't know what you're talking about, they're not going to go to you. One thing you could do early on is make sure these kids get practical experience. What really I think is the key to success is you being open and sharing with them stories of like what happened to you. Like there was a job I applied for and I got, And I was in the room, and the group of people said yes to everything. Yes to what I wanted to do with the local TV. Yes to what I wanted to teach. Yes to whatever. Yes, yes, yes. And then the second the contract was signed, everything was completely switched off. Yeah, and I was even told that my job description was wrong. I go, but it's in writing. Sorry. And so stories like that, can be very, very helpful when somebody's like, well, I'm going to apply for a job and I'm not going to take the job unless they promise X, Y, and Z. Even if they put it in writing, they could still rescind. And so if you want your children to be successful, you need to let them know about. Now, they might think there's a narrative. They might think you're just trying to push something, saying, okay, well, you're going to tell us that a friend got an STD because you don't want me having sex. You want me wearing condoms. I know. So this is how I taught my kids about STDs. I showed them pictures in my gynecology textbook, not my gynecology, not me. How it's scary. But it was a gynecology textbook and pictures of what they say. I showed that was all they needed. I go, look, this isn't a narrative. This isn't me trying to push, celibacy or abstinence. These are things that are out there, and I want you to see it. And I thought visual graphics would be really, really good. But, right now there's a lot of fake. We just talked about these pictures and snapshots of things that make it seem reality, but it's not. What's on social media now, a lot of things are AI generated, and they're really losing a lot of the grasp of reality that they need. And if they aren't, most of us, we had to work in fast food. And boy, did that teach us for real life. We learned what it's like to work for a manager, what to work for a boss. We learned about corporations. We learned about customers. We learned about somebody stealing and trying to blame it on you. We learned about, how to try to sneak a French fry, but then how you could get in trouble for that. We learned how to manage our money. Now the average kid is not working in fast food. They aren't having a part-time job in school. They aren't learning how to balance school. They're not getting this. And so their opportunity to learn is limited. So you need to combine old school with new school. All right. If these kids are like, look, I need to do stuff online. Okay, let me support you. Let's do it. And teach me. Teach me, because I want to become more successful. And maybe work with them on that. And then if they do fail, that's okay. Another thing we don't teach our kids is how normal it is to fail, and actually how our success depends on it. Okay, the reason why we fall as kids is it teaches us how to get up and balance. The reason why we burn ourselves on stoves is because that's nature's way of teaching us you don't touch a stove. Now, I don't want these kids burning themselves on stoves but let them make a mistake. You could warn them right before if you want to, but, to protect them. But be more of a coach and a guide as opposed to a dictator with them. And I think it's going to get you farther. 1-877 Dr. Daliah.
Did you know that healthy arteries make a gas? Yes, actually 3 known gases. Hi, I'm Dr. Mitch, and nitric oxide is a gas that's readily made all day long to keep our arteries open by relaxing the blood vessel walls. By doing this, our circulation is increased, bringing blood, oxygen, and nutrients to every part of your body. Both age and poor diet can lead to a loss of this precious gas, and in turn, blood pressure can go up, energy can go down, and you can get tingling in your hands and feet. Well, our product, Ultimate Nitric Oxide, can easily help fix this lack of nitric oxide. Go to TotalWellness.com. That's TotalWellness.com, where we are helping you to look good, feel good, and enjoy total wellness.